Disruption has become the name of the game for the world economy in the 2020s. The COVID pandemic, Russia-Ukraine conflict, Gaza war, Trump tariffs, and now the Middle East conflict have highlighted the flip side of globalization, which is that physical separation from a crisis is no longer a buffer from its economic fallout. Whether it be lockdowns, supply shocks, financial contagion, mobility bottlenecks, or erratic foreign policies, the butterfly effect is likely to be felt in multiple forms far from the epicenter. Interestingly, the man who rewrote and popularized globalization for the 21st century, The World is Flat author Thomas Friedman, had drawn a direct correlation between conflict and supply chains. The Dell theory of conflict prevention precludes conflict between countries that are part of the same global supply chain. Whether or not that theory has held true to any degree is debatable because economic theorists routinely underestimate politics, but the underlying logic is undeniable. Conflicts between two countries invariably impacts the supply chain that they are involved in or in the vicinity of, which is why the US-Iran conflict and the Strait of Hormuz disruption have caused several unintended consequences. At a time of crisis, disruption, and upheaval, where entire geographies are totally scrambling to ensure basic stocks of commodities and no supply item can be taken for granted. At such a time, it's not only business as usual in China, but China is also acting as a net stabilizer, opportunity provider, and logistics enabler for others. What's more, all this deals with different ends of the goods complexity spectrum. Automobiles these days are the pinnacle of large-scale supply chain management. In the electric age, they have essentially become large consumer electronics devices. The shift from the analog internal combustion engine to digital EVs totally reimagines automobiles. The scope, scale, and sophistry of the supply chain, particularly for batteries, drivetrain, sensors, semiconductors, composite materials, software and AI, and other components, is a completely different world compared to even a decade earlier. And the progress is worth it. The Hormuz crisis and consequent developments in the oil industry have established that energy diversification should now be high on both countries' as well as consumers' agenda. With the use of EVs and renewables attaining critical mass in China, and Chinese companies forming the backbone of global green technology production, crisis and opportunity are paving the way for a green transition in a way that consensus building and political fragmentation are simply unable to match. Electric vehicles don't just work, they are now working better than traditional automobiles. They are also powered by electricity, which structurally at the moment countries generate domestically and hence have greater control over, vis-a-vis many having to depend on others to import fossil fuels. The EV and green technologies experience is replicated across several industries and regions in China. Shandong's garlic, Shenzhen's consumer electronics, Dongguan's furniture, Hebei's winter sports gear. These clusters are deeply embedded in global chains, while their goods keep global shelves stocked. At the same time, global goods find a place on Chinese shelves and e-commerce platforms, and increasingly in Chinese homes, benefiting from China's opening up and pro-consumption policies. In economic terms, the contrast between the disruption emanating from the spate of global crises and the net stability and the balance anchored by China is quite stark. At a time when there is little long-term guarantee of uninterrupted transnational supplies and businesses and economies are coming to view dependencies as weaknesses, China offers a robust, well-functioning and reliable industrial and supply chain network along with a positive policy environment. Domestically also, it is evident on ground and in the data that there is a consumption pickup. The market on offer for international businesses is extremely tempting in China. The series of globally relevant disruptions in recent years are now increasingly being looked at as a trend for economic de-risking. In such a situation, stability and reliability stand very tall, serving as a beacon for risk aversion. For businesses, exporters, policymakers, and other stakeholders of the world economy who look for such steady factors, the draw is a very easy one to argue.